What it do, world? This your boy Youngin.
This is Queen.
Big B.
And this is Subject to Opinion, your favorite sports and entertainment podcast.
I know last week we kind of started off giving our respects to Aretha Franklin. I kind of want to give our respects again to someone who was lost in the world today. I want to give a moment of silence to Kanan Starks. Okay? So we can just give...
Before we do the moment of silence, for those who don't know who Kanan
is like the villain uncle on the show Power.
Spoilers, folks.
Yeah, if you don't know what Power is, then you won't understand this at all. I would suggest you subscribe to Stars. But I want to give a moment of silence. He lasted 5 years. He almost died in a burning house that he managed to kick himself out of the burning house with a locked door. Television at its finest. But, this week, police caught him with 2 shots, and he couldn't make it, threw up blood, and he died. Okay? So, moment of silence for Kanan Starks, one of my favorite TV characters ever. Should have been on The Wire. Bam. Moment is over.
Now that we got that moment in, I just want to say, how's it that 50 survived 9 shots? He couldn't make it in 2 on TV. All right?
See, that's the thing.
Like in real life.
50 survived 9 shots. Kanan only had 2 in him. He had 2 in a burning building in him. Okay? They equal. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to start off with that just on a light note.
Big ups to Power.
Yeah, for sure. Great show. Hope it goes for like 8 seasons instead of like 6 or maybe 7.
Ghost gonna cry in the car.
Right. I lost my friend.
Season 5, right?
Yeah, this season 5. I need them to do like 3 more seasons and I'll be satisfied.
Well, I need like
6
more.
You need like 8 more?
Yeah.
Once they make it,
go to season 13. Listen, at some point you get caught selling drugs.
Well, you know what they say.
He's not selling drugs anymore.
You know, with television, it's like if you can make it to 6 seasons, you pretty much are greenlit for a movie if that's the direction they want to go in. So if they make it to 6, it's possible they can get a full feature film.
Well, we know they're gonna go 6. There's gonna be a season next year for sure. That's not gonna, change. I just think that there won't be a 7th season.
We'll see. But what's on the agenda today, Big B? What's going on?
All right, I've been thinking about this, and I wanted to pose this to you guys. Have you heard about? I'm sure you've heard about the Birdman apologizing to Lil Wayne at Louisiana Fest. I'm sure you guys have heard about this.
Shit.
I heard about it.
Yeah, that's what I want to pose. Don't even say it. Do you believe that the apology is genuine, or is it something that kind of had to be done in the public's eye to kind of put a close on it in the public's eye?
Yeah, I can't see it, but I engineered Dre Day is shaking his head yes. But that's just because he's a huge Lil Wayne fan. But I don't see the realness in it at all. You know what I mean? I feel like if you are sincere, why did he have to sue you first? Like,
well, it takes time.
That he won the suit,
But see, that's what I'm saying. Did he win the suit? I mean, I've heard outlets talking about the court case and all of that good stuff, but all we've ever seen is more or less of good gestures from them. We don't know what. That's why I said it's an apology to close it on the public.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, he apologized. That must mean that it's over.
For the fans.
Right. So now we can go back to the Lil Wayne Birdman amending the relationship.
But I can't. I can't. And the reason for that is because the other people who put themselves on the front line to protect Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Like DJ Khaled stood out and was like, "No, Birdman doing wrong." Rick Ross got out there and said, "No, Birdman doing wrong." Pusha T got out there and said, "No, this dude is doing wrong." So what is going to be Lil Wayne's relationship with the men who stood up for him, who probably aren't going to be best friends with Birdman again? You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. If there's a problem with them and Lil Wayne, then that's on them. And that's because you brought the exposure to get him what he wanted, or to what he deserved, or what he earned. If if them expressing themselves publicly got him what he wanted or deserved, then the mission is complete.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's not harboring any feelings, if he can still be around this person and do business with this person, then you should at least be able to be cordial with him.
Okay. Queen, what's the
I agree
female's
with
perspective?
that, but I don't think that it's a situation where they're like going to be best friends or they're going to be father son anymore. Like, because once you violate a man in that manner, like
right.
I don't think that you can just come back from that. Like, yeah, you apologized. Okay, I may have accepted your apology, but at the end of the day, like, we ain't cool like that. Not after you did what you did.
But even
Right.
but in all fairness though, this is business. They also have a personal relationship.
Well, I'm talking about in their personal relationship.
So you saying that this business decision or what had to go down business wise is going to affect them even moving forward in their
because
personal
he
relationship?
played him in business, knowing full and well what personal relationship he had with him. Like, that don't just go away. Yeah, business is business, but at the end of the day, the business was brought on by a loyalty family, a relationship that they had as personal friends or whatever you would call it, one would call it. I don't think that they could ever be like they were.
Right. There will be no like father, like son part two.
No.
You're saying the public wouldn't bite on this?
I mean, the public probably would, but I'm thinking more like Lil Wayne is not going to go that far with it. You know what I mean? And if he did, it would only be for publicity or money. Just like a financial gain. But I just don't think as a man he can just walk away from the fact that, yeah, you felt like what you were doing was business, but at the end of the day, you took money off my table from feeding my kids. Like, you supposed to be my right. You supposed to be my daddy, quote unquote. Like, your daddy would never do that to you. Business to no business.
True. That is true. I was with some words that is so true.
This is how I figure.
Daddy.
Yeah.
This is how I figure.
Your father would never do that to you.
This is how I figure Lil Wayne didn't really take that personally. They didn't kiss after the apology.
Oh my God. Let it go, man. Let it go. Okay? We know it's out there. Gilly, the kid, when they were beefing, put that picture out. It is what it is. I'm not really concerned at all about if they're kissing each other.
Right.
Because that's just a whole nother topic which we need to get them here for. That would be awesome. Right? But I think you touched on something about in the middle of your conversation or your statement, Queen, basically about doing the right thing or being loyal. And that kind of segues into something else that I wanted to talk about that happened this week. Urban Meyers, the Ohio State football head coach.
Yeah.
I believe last year, I don't want to get the dates wrong. In the past, I'll just say that. In the recent past, one of his assistants, wife, or girlfriend, or fiance, came to him and expressed to him that the assistant was abusing her.
Okay.
He did nothing about it. He asked the assistant. And of course, just like if you go ask a bank robber who just walked out of the bank with the cash in their hand, did you just rob that bank? No.
Okay.
What else is he going to say? And I'm sorry, he left it alone. He took the man's word. There was an investigation done by the school and the police department, and he didn't get in trouble for lying per se, because he stood by. He just used his bad judgment. He used his personal feelings towards somebody and trusted that they would tell him the truth.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to hide it per se, because it was clear that he asked.
Okay.
They gave him a 3-game suspension
because he didn't report it.
Right, because he didn't handle it properly.
Okay.
Like I said, he asked the bank robber if he robbed the bank. No, you call the police, make sure he didn't rob the bank.
Okay.
So had it been proven though that this guy did whatever they said?
Right.
It was proven?
Yes.
All right. I mean, I feel like if the girl didn't go to the police first, Like I mean, like I asked my assistant, he said no. If he was really abusing her, don't go to a football coach. Like call the police yourself, right?
I agree with
That makes sense, but then you would have to apply that logic to people who wait 5 years, 6 years to say somebody raped them.
Well, I apply that logic there too. Like, one should not wait 5 or 6 years to tell that you've been wronged. Like, I don't think I think the same thing applies. Like,
but I mean,
something happened to you, you need to go to somebody who can help you, and the football coach cannot help
you. This is true, but 5 years after rape, you can go tell somebody that you were raped. And a lot of, from my experiences or things that I've seen in the media or whatnot, it's normally like that person is so afraid, because it's so hard to prove per se, or the person who did it is this outstanding person in the community, things of that nature, and it takes them time to build up the courage, to go tell somebody.
Okay.
I don't understand.
I get it, but her first instinct was to go to his boss, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, and then this is football we talking about. Like, that's loyalty on the field. Like, and at least he went to the guy and asked him. So, not saying that coaches are dirty people, but hell, most people probably wouldn't even went to him and asked him. You know what I mean?
My thing is, I understand why he's being punished because, I mean, as a football coach, you're kind of a mandated reporter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So any knowledge of any sort of wrongdoing or crime is supposed to be reported. So I get that part. I just don't get that the person who this allegedly happened to, well, I don't know if it's allegedly or not at this point, but I mean, how did it even get to be reported then if she never went to police?
No, I think she might have went to him first.
And then she went to the police.
Right.
And what was this story?
It happened sometime last week. The news broke that he was going to be suspended for 3 games. It was either like...
But when did the incident happen?
I don't remember the exact date. I'm terrible with dates.
I don't know.
I focus on the story per se.
Like I understand. I feel her pain. I feel for her pain and stuff. I guess it would be empathy for the situation, but for him to be punished, I understand he's supposed to report it. But I mean, the guy said no. I don't know if there's an actual crime, right?
But that's the whole point. Are you going to go ask somebody that just robbed a bank if they just robbed the bank? Who, me?
Okay.
With the bags in my hand?
I get it.
With the blue ink on the outside of it? No, that was me.
I get you.
I was at McDonald's.
I get you.
A lot of coaches, when they do get suspended, a lot of coaches would have gotten fired for this.
Really?
Yes. But I think there are other politics that...
And he only got 3 or 4 games.
3 games.
So, okay. Yeah. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
That's the weird part. Gotcha.
He apologized for his apology, and I wanted to pull it up on Twitter or wherever it was at, but it was something along the lines, I'm not quoting it here, but he just wished it didn't happen.
Well, don't we all?
Like, you're not the person in the situation that's supposed to say that.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to be honest. This has nothing to do with the fact that you left my Gators to go to that bum-ass school.
That's where the big B stuff, the anger comes from for you, huh?
No.
Because you left your Gators?
No, because I had a friend that worked with me here that graduated from Florida and said that there was like talks about some bad stuff going on with him, and that's why he even said he was unhealthy and couldn't coach anymore, and left Florida and did TV for a year, and mysteriously decided to come back coaching at the Ohio State. Yeah, everything works out well for the victim, and that I hope everybody in the situation learns something.
Definitely.
That's the best way to put it. All right, moving along. You know, I'm getting a little excited here because this is a point that I wanted to make. No, you know what? I'm gonna do like DC Young Fly on what's the girl name?
Azelia Banks.
I'm gonna wait. We just ain't got no wild style, so I'm just saying I'm gonna wait.
Oh my god!
But no, he roasted.
He did.
She was so mad. She was like
crying.
and then they said she went off and like cried, and then came back and they kind of issued like an apology to her or whatever, basically saying like, you know, it's just they just joke, you know, on that show.
DC say DC
God.
say he went up to try to apologize, and she said, "Get away from me before I spit on you."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fighting words.
She
was not that mad. As much crap as she talked about other people.
But no, she's that person. She's that person who can say whatever she wants, but
throw a rock and hide her
she
hand.
can't take a jab at all. Not one single one.
She was sitting up there looking ugly.
Her feelings was hurt, like you could tell.
Her eye was twitching. She was mad.
Bet she went to go get them wires back from her dentist.
He was on her ass, man.
But the crazy part was if you look at the whole thing, she kept coming at him. She kept saying stuff to him. He was like, "Why don't you leave me alone?" And she just kept coming back because you're mad.
And then she didn't even stick to the rules of the game. That's how you know she was angry.
She didn't.
She was just.
That's why you stay in like a $750 house apartment, and
you're never gonna make anything else.
It's supposed to be a joke, lady.
Like,
but that's how he knows he was under her skin.
She took that too
super
hard.
Personal.
She took everything that he said
personal.
To her. She really truly did. And it's just so funny from her because you would think she would have much thicker skin, being that she's always in somebody else's mix,
but
talking about somebody else.
But remember that Russell Crowe situation where she said he spit on her or something like that. But actors, it was actors at the party who said that was a complete lie.
Well, she also that type of person. She trying to do whatever she got to do to get a little fame.
On the Instagram post or something that I seen on YouTube, she was at the airport like, "You black people or black men ain't finna worry me. I'm finna go get me some white dick."
But on
OMG.
But on Wildin' Out, he made a Cardi B joke, and somehow that became an anti-black joke according to her. Like, get out of her. How you gonna say his joke is racist, but now you on the airplane saying you ain't messing with black men no more? You finna go get you some white dick. What kind of shit is that?
She just got she's a walking contradiction.
Yeah, let her live her life and ignore her.
That's all you can do. She talked about Beyonce. Beyonce didn't respond.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she did in some subliminal way.
That might be why you won't find her on many tours. Okay.
She's not going to be on anybody's tour.
But you know what? It worked for her. The thing is, she wants to stay in the news. I mean, it's even gotten her to our show because she is not on the list to be talked about.
Oh wow! I remember like when I first read her name, like 2 years ago. I thought it was a misprint of Iggy Azalea's name.
Yeah, right. I used to think they were the same thing. Like Iggy Azalea, Azelia Banks. And
then one day it was like Azalea Banks goes at Iggy Azalea. I was like, how the fuck is that possible?
Right.
And then it's the same person.
In the mirror.
Like, excuse me?
Like, T.I., why are you allowing this?
She's tragic. She's a tragedy. Like, she needs
man, you said she wanted to talk a point. What's next, man?
All right, moving along. We got to give our respect and our shout-out to Manu Ginobli.
Yeah.
Who announced his retirement yesterday after
16 years
in the NBA.
16 strong years.
Manu, we did our little research on Manu.
Is it Manu?
You know, that's what I'm calling him.
I've been calling him Manu for 16 years.
Manu.
I've definitely mispronounced his last name.
It might be Manu.
I've definitely mispronounced Ginobili a couple times. But
that's what you said, Manu.
Manu?
Yeah, you've been saying that.
Yeah, you say Manu. I say Manu.
Okay, it might be Manu.
It might be you then.
So his regular season stats. Now this shocked me a lot given the almost what type of aura goes around Manu Ginobli and the Spurs. He averages 13 points, 3.8 assists, which we'll give him 4. Anything at 5 or higher, we'll round that up. 13.5 rebounds, 4, and 1.3 steals. In the playoffs over his career, he averaged 14 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1.3 steals. So the only thing that increased in the playoffs was like a point, 1 extra rebound, 1 extra point. And now we got these stats off of NBA.com. So I just want to let people know that these are valid.
The things
numbers.
that paper will do to a person.
Man.
Because
women line, numbers don't lie.
Right.
you would never think that Ginobili's stats are that low. Because he is a part of the Big Three. He's the San Antonio's Big Three.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like,
where all they points come from?
it was a team effort.
Oh my God.
So the thing is, I'm sure without reading those stats, if you had 20 people with basketball knowledge in the room, they would say, at least 70% of them would say Manu Ginobili is a Hall of Famer. So given that I just read those stats to you guys, do you think that he's a Hall of Famer?
I think that he is, if those are consistent stats.
But that is only 14. Now let me give you the other two. There's 2 more important stats here. He has 4 NBA titles and 2 All-Stars. I think personally, what made my decision was the All-Stars versus years played. You got 16 years played, 2 All-Stars.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody that played that long with 2 All-Stars should be in the Hall of Fame.
What are the requirements to be an All-Star?
I mean, you have to play the season like a fucking boss.
At this point, they vote players in, the fans vote players in.
Yeah.
But you got to put numbers up.
You got to. You gotta have numbers on your side to even be.
You have to be like a Draymond Green and not have to worry about necessarily.
I can't make that comparison without knowing what Draymond Green stats are like.
Let me put it
because I mean, if you ask me about Draymond Green, I wouldn't think that Draymond Green had more points scored on a normal basis than that.
He probably does. He doesn't.
But he's an All-Star.
Right, because he affects the game all the way around. So you got a player that'll give you 7 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, 5 block shots, run the point, shoot a 3, play defense. Like he does guard the best player on the other team if you need switch because he can guard other players and bring the intensity and toughness. That's what he combines. You can't put numbers on that. But that's not my number. That's not him.
So what was the center name on that team?
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. Was he doing all of that?
Yeah.
He was doing all of that?
Tim Duncan is probably the greatest power forward to ever play basketball.
So he's playing power forward, not center.
Right. He's a power forward.
I thought it was center.
Yeah, Tim Duncan is a legend. Like now that he's retired,
if you pull Tim
he is
Duncan
a legend.
Up, you'll see 15 years, 13 All-Stars, 4 NBA titles.
So who is in comparison to
that
that? Because I don't know that we can use that as the reason why he shouldn't be.
It's not. Those aren't stats that you would get from a Hall of Famer. A Hall of Famer puts up, even if you
like. So Tim Duncan gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I believe he already is.
Yeah, a Hall of Famer is.
Who else gonna be a Hall of Famer?
Double digits.
Draymond Green gonna be a Hall of Famer?
Quite possibly, yeah. For right now, the way he plays is great for what's going on. Like he could be just known as that guy for this team if he's not able to excel once this falls apart, because nothing lasts forever. So no matter how long or how many pieces they add on to him, you know what I mean, it's eventually going to stop or roles are going to diminish and it's going to be a clash. As far as the Warriors are concerned. But
so basically you saying you don't think that Manu is going to be a Hall of Famer.
No, I don't. I don't think so.
I don't think he has Hall of Fame stats. Before this, I would have thought Manu Ginobli was a clear shot to the Hall of Fame. Like 4 NBA titles, 2 All Stars. What else was it? It was
16 seasons, 4 titles, 2 All Stars, and he was a 6th Man of the Year.
There we go, 6th Man of the Year.
2006, I believe, 2008, something like that.
For me, 6th Man of the Year is a big award. Like some of the best 6 men, like Jamal Crawford, those are some of my favorite players because
how many 6 men actually go to the Hall of Fame?
I mean, like Jamal Crawford, I just said, he's going to the Hall of Fame, definitely.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You watch.
I don't know about.
It's a good award.
Yes.
It's a good award to win because it just shows that you possibly could be a starter. It doesn't mean that you could be a star.
No, it shows that you can. No, it shows.
Star
to me, it shows that you can keep the pace of the game going. Like
Jamal Crawford's a great player.
That's what
he is a great player. I mean, I will say that about him. But
yeah, that's what it is for me. The 6 man, it shows that you can keep that pace going for your team. Like if your number one go out and you come in, like you have to play his spot.
But how many teams has he been on?
You play his spot.
Jamal Crawford been on like 12 teams in the past 10 years.
You play his spot, but you don't. The team doesn't play the same way because you probably don't have the ability as that starter.
I don't see it
hence
that way.
Him being the starter.
I don't see it that way.
Well, listen.
Is Rajon Rondo going to be a Hall of Famer?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
And he was a Celtic.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he's talking about. Jamal Crawford is not going to the NBA Hall of Fame. Okay?
I agree. He's not.
No, I don't think that's. We're going to have to do some research and talk about this on the next one because I want to find out how many Hall of Famers have actually been on more than 3 teams. Shout out to Manu. You know, Manu put the work in. I just don't think he's going to.
I think that anybody, though, who's given 16 years, 10 plus years to the game, should be awarded. You know what I mean?
I mean,
he's some format.
He's
they're going to do it in San Antonio.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. He's going to be celebrated.
What about the fans that he has outside of San Antonio?
They're going to have to visit San Antonio when he's
That's not fair.
It's only going down in San Antonio.
So you think San Antonio fans are the only fans that he got?
I mean,
he probably got more fans in other places than he do in San Antonio.
That's going to care about him after basketball.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
But
Youngin over here mad in the mud.
Why?
Like, I need to move past this. Jamal Crawford ain't going to be a Hall of Famer. Let's move past this topic.
All right, but moving on. Just to discuss them, since we own sports, we're going to talk about them good old Redbirds. This is my least favorite part of the show.
I'm going to be quiet some more
when I bring up the Redbirds.
Why y'all going to be quiet about the Redbirds?
I don't know nothing about baseball.
You have to deal with some people. I can't think of the word right. Imperfections. He don't know nothing about baseball. Nothing. So I'm gonna keep it quick just for him.
I know a little bit about baseball.
Well, I just really wanted to give the people in St. Louis something to cheer about because the Cardinals are the number one spot for the NL wild card.
And how many games they got left?
They got about 25, 26, some games
so
like
that could change.
Yeah, definitely.
What do they play like?
They might have more. They might have more than that. No, 162.
It seems like they play so many games.
And they actually.
It's like every night the Cardinals versus. But this is the thing, and then the game lasts for like 5 hours.
This is true. But it's baseball. They play 162 games, then you got the All-Star break.
But
the thing is, they cover baseball like from spring training all the way through the World Series, so it seemed like you watching games for 2.5 months.
No, because they cover everything else like that too.
No, everything else ain't got 100 and nothing games. You can add up their preseasons, they practices.
But I'm saying, they do the preseason football. You know, they do the summer league on basketball and the Olympics. And, you know, they got all of their little stuff going on with basketball. It's the same. I think they just kind of.
The Cardinals got their chance. I mean, they 7-3 in their last 10. What's the first baseman name? Oh, you wouldn't know.
That one guy on the first base.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter. Like every time he touches
Facts.
the ball,
I got
it's
one
a
of them.
home run. You got one of what?
But Matt Carpenter is the pitcher.
Okay.
So Matt Carpenter plays first base
He's
too.
the first base.
But Matt Carpenter is the pitcher, right? Two? What's the pitcher's name?
No. The pitch. I don't know. I'm a Braves fan.
But you gotta know the pitcher.
The pitcher. I know Carpenter. Chris.
Chris what?
Carpenter.
Oh, Chris Carpenter. Okay.
That's the pitcher.
Okay.
I'm still so.
I knew it was Carpenter. Facts.
Yeah, what they said.
Well, yeah, they're gonna try to keep it moving. They play Pittsburgh tonight at 8:00. You know, they're gonna try to keep that.
So we won't know the score until 1.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're home or not. They didn't say.
Central Standard.
But hopefully they keep that up and we see the Redbirds in the playoffs. Because again,
and Atlanta is not gonna go anywhere in the playoffs. Like you can keep saying that.
Smash dash.
They're happy to be. Oh, they're happy to be in the playoffs. When the last time Atlanta was in the playoffs?
About 3 years ago.
Did you just say smash dash World Series on your ass?
He did. Facts, I did.
Yuck, bro. No, you're not.
He's super excited because his team has not been in the playoffs for many years at this point.
3 years.
Oh, really?
They was in the playoffs like my whole life, like 16, 17 years.
Back when you were like 9 and 10.
9 through.
And they have not.
20.
Been in the playoffs.
How many World Series they got?
None.
1.
0. We was at 1922.
1. It was like 94, I believe. 96, one of them.
All right. That was a good
So
year.
it's been about 28 years.
So what makes you a fan of them? Especially when you're from St. Louis.
And have never lived in Atlanta. Have never... You've always been from St. Louis. Because they were winning.
TBS.
He adopts the teams that are winning teams.
TBS.
As in the
station.
The station.
Right.
What is it because they bought Friends and put it on air? Like what?
Ted Turner owns TBS.
Okay.
Ted also owned the Atlanta Braves at one point. So what was on TBS all the time? The Atlanta Braves. I could watch an Atlanta Braves game more than I could watch Cardinals game.
He liked the teams that be winning.
Bro.
And then he adopt those teams while they're winning. And then because they're winning teams, it looks like he always selects the teams that are great.
You could have just jumped over Busch Stadium gate or something.
Listen, wait. I've been fans of all my teams at least since I was 10. 8 to 10. Now, how do we get on me and my brother?
Oh, no, I was about to ask you.
Love to these barely playoff, you know what?
Boy, you know, STL you ain't talking about. Because we makes the playoffs.
I'm not
now, name the last time we didn't make the playoffs.
Google it.
Yeah, I'm about to. You sure you want that? Because I know the Braves wasn't in there last year. For sure.
Google it. She has no idea what she's talking about. She's jumping out on the whim here, people.
Was the Braves in there last year?
Answer your question first.
I want to know if the Braves was in there first. You tell me because this your team.
You already asked me that. It's recorded that you asked me that already, and I answered it.
Last year, you did not answer that last year.
Yes, I did. No, they did not.
Okay, so what are we talking about then?
Your Cardinals.
Your team. They won the Braves won the NL West 1991 to 1993. Now, mind you, Big B was born in 82, right? So that would have made him 10 during 9 and 10 through the 1991-1993. But he knew that. So he set it up to tell you that he was 9 or 10 because he knew the last time they won.
No, that's what they won when I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get what the conspiracy here is.
I want to know what the other teams are, but that's going to have to be a topic of another.
Either there's like 30 other teams.
Oh, my God. All right, let's move on.
Multiple teams in one state. Like California has like 4.
Yeah, they last made the playoffs in 2013. So it's been about 5 years.
Okay, give or take 2 years.
Yeah.
Give or take.
They're not that great.
But she refused to go see if the Cardinals made the playoffs.
But they are brave. How many World Series has the Cardinals franchise won, Big B?
If we're,
Like
if we're counting back when
It's
Jesus
either-
was in the
Whatever.
It's either
I
nine.
believe that
It was either 9 or 11.
No.
You just a hater.
No, I'm not.
We just have to
Listen.
just let the world
When
know.
LeBron left, your glory was
Everybody,
over. Okay.
Big B is an STL Cardinals hater.
11. The answer is 11. I knew it.
The answer was 11. Now,
I do a lot
I
of
said
trivia.
8, so I was
Real-
close.
I said
Watch
I
this.
do a lot of trivia.
How many? I want you to. I want you to find out how many of them were between the 1910s and the 19.
And that's about the last time the Braves won one. So what
Well,
are we talking about?
All right. Here's the order.
When did the Braves win?
Here's the order.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start from the very first one to most recent.
1923.
No, man. Do you have it in your face?
Come on, young.
1926, 1931, 1934, 1942, 1944, 1946, 1964, 1967, 1982, 2006, 2011.
So we've won 2.
Right. When was the last time you won one before 1982?
64.
Right, but see that doesn't hold.
But we're
prevalent
talking
to
about
you.
when Jesus
But-
was. We're talking about
Right,
when Jesus
exactly.
was. Remember,
Exactly.
that's when Jesus
Exactly.
was
So how
in
we
the stands.
how we count these 1926?
I'm talking about the 2000. It's been 18
All right,
years
that's-
in the 2000s, and
but
your
that's
team
still-
has not won one.
And that still breaks down to my whole life. They've won one, and the Cardinals have won 2.
So,
Still better.
so what you saying?
So
Because
I'm
you try to
saying
make it
what
like
you
the
guys
Braves is this much better
They
team,
are.
but
Since
yeah,
I've-
we've
since
won
I've
more
been
titles.
Actually,
Since
since you've been born, it might be 3 because they actually had one in 1982. So,
He wasn't.
3.
Yeah, he was born.
I was
in-
born.
He was born in July.
So-
And they would have won it in October.
yep. So,
Good pull, y'all.
3.
3. Yeah, 3. Okay, my bad. Ooh.
And the Cardinals has won 3 since you've been born.
No, that's what we talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Braves. I was gonna say,
I'm saying,
hold
like,
It's your life, because I heard him say
Don't worry about that.
1982.
I'll cut that. Don't worry about that.
Don't come for me.
Listen. When the Braves
STL, baby.
meet the Cardinals.
What's up?
we
If
keep
the
getting off
Cardinals
topic.
make the playoffs, we
It's a
gonna
good
bust
show.
that.
I like it.
Okay. Period.
This is
And I'm
fun.
taking
Against
off.
who?
Listen, we gonna go to New Jersey or the closest legal gambling state, and we making bets. Now, back it up. Yeah.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
When is the playoffs?
Yeah. Matter
You
of
down, young?
Matter of fact, I'll be in
I'm
Vegas
broke, but
in
if I can
October.
ask my boss for a raise, I'd definitely be going down to
Listen.
Vegas with y'all.
Listen, I'll be in Vegas in October.
Oh, yeah, you will. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have you place my bet, homie.
I got it. But now listen, we debating and arguing over these people, but all of them make a lot of money.
They
right?
do.
But that's what we didn't bring up on top of a lot of money. Congratulations to Odell Beckham.
Ooh, clap for him.
Yeah, you know what he getting 95 years,
93
$95 million over 5 years.
and how much do they say was guaranteed?
65.
65 is what I've read.
65.
Allegedly.
$65
Right.
million dollars.
Allegedly works great with NFL guarantee.
He can finally move out of Drake house.
Allegedly.
It makes sense.
Out of Drake house. Did you say?
Yes, I don't get where you.
They roommates.
I don't know where you get that from.
They roommates.
Listen,
Oh.
Y'all didn't know that? They roommates,
Drake
bro.
and
listen.
They have
Odell
lived
Beckham
together, yes.
Are you?
Listen.
Are
They might
What
own
is he
a
doing?
condo.
Okay,
No.
this is what I want to say.
No.
What is going on
No.
in my
Odell-
periphery?
Odell Beckham.
I think he's trying
No.
to get us to say something.
Yeah.
No.
No, do not
No.
say it. Okay.
Odell Beckham lived in Drake's mansion.
That's fine.
Oh,
I
in the
get it.
mansion that Drake
Yeah.
owned.
No. While
Like
Drake
with him.
lived there.
Like they were roomies.
Listen.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
cool. I get it. But not how you trying to make it. But I get it.
I'm
Well,
just
what is
saying.
he trying to make it?
Like they really roomies. Like he don't got his own house.
I'm just cracking
multiple
the
homes.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
no, I'm searching,
I'm just
but if
saying.
you're making, if you get a guaranteed deal for $65 million, I
don't need a damn roommate.
to live with Drake.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we editing that
Oh
part
my
out.
God.
Okay, we're gonna edit that part out. And
Kiki.
listen, moving along. Now, the purpose of me bringing up congrats Odell on your brand, you know they backing up the Brinks truck to you.
Mm-hmm.
It made me think about football guarantee contracts. But before I get into it, I want to tell you guys that what I'm about to say about the guaranteed contract, as far as how guaranteed doesn't mean guaranteed when you talk about the NFL versus the other three major sports. It almost goes back to, well, it does go back to our conversation last week about how I was saying that basketball doesn't promote. Baseball doesn't promote kids going to high school. They just treat it like it's a normal functioning part of the business. This is the same thing with football. Because even when you do research on this, you can literally Google it in. It's hard to find.
There's a lot of lopsided answers about it.
Right. And the reason is because ESPN could dig in and find it. They could I'm sure they could get a hold of a contract. You see what I'm saying? I'm sure they could. But they're not. Because it's something that the NFL is like, we ain't playing around with this. Like,
as far as the guaranteed money part of it?
you can piece together whatever you want to piece together, but you're not going to have actual evidence or proof to show people, and people can really that's how it works.
So do you think it's like contractual that the player doesn't give that information either?
No, I don't think it is.
So you think the player could come out and be like, yeah, I just got this?
It's a difference. Even with most players, what they're saying will be like generalized things because it's being explained to them from the agent.
Okay.
And the lawyer.
Who understands
the
terminology.
Who understands what's going on. So now they tell them, and now you got the person who just was told from somebody else who don't understand what the hell they talking about, explaining it to you. You know what I'm saying? So you never get the right type of picture with that situation. But moving along, NFL guarantee does not mean, in the literal sense, guarantee from the research that I've done.
It means like they don't get hurt?
It means like the closest that they get to guaranteed money is the signing bonus. So that's what you want to look for when the NFL contract. It's the signing bonus. So he got $20 million. Right? So he got that just for signing the contract. And there are ways for them to get out of giving him that money. But as far as the other guaranteed money, there are still stipulations within the contract that you have to accomplish to get that money.
Like 1,000 rushing yards.
Right. Or play
2 touchdowns.
Or play 70% of the snaps. That it all goes within the contract to where in the NBA, you sign a $95 million deal. First of all, in the NBA, if you sign a $95 million deal, you're like
six man.
Just happen to be a starter on the team with James Harden and Chris Paul on it.
Right.
And you the starting center.
Yeah.
That'd be Clint Capella. That's real life. Makes the same amount of money
as
Odell Beckham.
As the most paid NFL wide receiver.
He can sign a contract and get hurt. As long as he don't get hurt playing a non-basketball sport or basketball that's not NBA associated, or if he's not overweight, like it's like a smaller list of things. It's his. Like if he gets hurt playing basketball, that's it. Like he getting paid. That's it. Ain't no.
Well, you owe me $90 million.
Yeah, no. Football is done because football is basically, although they break that up over years, football is they get a weekly check, so that money is broken down into weeks. You see what I'm saying? And then it's only given during football season.
I don't know. My kids can't play football.
They actually
not the sport.
They actually get paid per game.
Yeah.
Wow.
That probably explains why they be so mad when they get fined and stuff.
Yeah.
It's coming out of this week's check.
Yeah.
No, homie, you tell me you're going to take $15,000?
It got to be next week. You know, you play this week, and then they calculate the bonus.
Yeah, but I'm paying my bills off next week.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
You messing up my money, homie.
I paid my bills on the first, coach.
You know the fines be high. They be like $2,000.
Man, they be more than that.
$5,000.
$15,000.
Like, think about this.
You really hit me like that?
Think about this. Odell Beckham signed 5 years, $90 million. He got a $20 million signing bonus. But he has to be healthy and produce and be productive for all 5 of those years for him to actually get that whole $90 million. Gordon Hayward, who had a similar injury to the one he had last year, after that injury, he worked his way back into shape, and he got a deal for 4 years for like $127.8 million. So that's $31 million a year. If Gordon Hayward hurt himself again during the first quarter of the first game of this year, Gordon Hayward is
Who
going
was
to
that
get...
playing with Boston?
Yes. Gordon Hayward is going to get $31 million. Period. No questions asked. Like last year, when he fell and he got hurt, he got hurt. He was out for the season.
Broke his leg.
He still got $31 million.
Mm-hmm.
If Odell Beckham get hurt, whatever they already gave him is what he got.
That's terrible.
That's crazy.
That is terrible.
And then
That's terrible.
he's a star wide receiver. He's now the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And somebody like he's an NFL star now. You know what I mean?
In a big market.
And he's in New York. And he's in New York.
Because that's what I'm trying to determine. When they're going to make these deals, why is it not something that they are kind of having turned around? Like, are they not getting agents who gonna walk in there and be like, well, regardless if I get hurt or not, like, I still played a certain amount of games, or whatever the situation may be. You only gonna pay me $20 million?
It's more. They have a union. They have a players union, and it needs work. It needs better representation.
Well, the players just need to stop playing.
Right.
I mean, because if we don't play, then you don't make no money.
Even with this subject, and even with the Colin Kaepernick subject, unity is not something easily done in the NFL for some reason. They'll strike in baseball. They'll strike in basketball. They will not, like they tried it that one year or whatever, 20, 30 years ago, but they will not strike in football, which means the owners run that league, like completely run that league to the point to where I would have to feel like the owners make it known, like, we do not care. If we don't make the certain amount of money that we want to make, we'll just go venture off and do something else.
Well, that's what you're going to have to do.
Right. You got to make them do
and you're going to stop making these millions up off of me.
You're going to make millions and give me brain damage. And you just going to
and give me pennies.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't cool with that.
Point.
No.
Yeah, somebody needs to step up in the NFL.
No.
Every time I heard the word guarantee with the NFL contract, it just makes
like
my
really
soul cringe. Like, they use words in their contract like fully guaranteed. Like, how do you add on to guarantee? Like, you got to put fully in front of it for it to mean something other than just guarantee. But on to a positive note, hopefully they get that together. Last week we didn't have one, but we do have a person this week, and we're going to let Queen get into it.
P.O.P. holding it down, progressing our people. All right. So, this week for our pop, we will be shouting out and giving praises to LaShonda Carter.
All right.
Who is LaShonda Carter, you ask?
Yeah. Okay. Who is LaShonda Carter?
She's a Chicago teacher, or a teacher out of Chicago that basically stepped up to help one of her former students who had recently had a baby, and she was trying to go to a job fair. And LaShonda basically picked her up, took her to the job fair, let her apply for the job she wanted to apply for, and while the mother was applying for the job, who's like 18, by the way, LaShonda sat in the car with her baby and waited on her to get done. Now, I know that this is a situation where it's just one person helping another person, but I think that that's the start of us all being unified and able to give to one another to make a positive impact. You know what I mean? So hopefully the girl who she helped, whose name was Larisha Plummer. Hopefully, Larisha was able to get one of those jobs that she wanted to apply for, and that she can make herself the best person that she can be for her child, who was only 3 weeks old at the time, but this was something that was on CNN, so I'm not the only one who thinks that this was a big deal. CNN thought so too. But they just basically talked about how LaShonda was the teacher for Larisha at the high school that Larisha went to.
Okay.
Now, LaShonda had left that high school but still kept in contact with Larisha or her other students,
That's a
when
great teacher.
she had left. And she had only found out about it through Facebook, about the girl having a rough time and needing some assistance to get, to this job for her, and then she offered to do it. And I just thought we should take some time out to give a huge shout out to LaShonda, because I think that it's one person doing one good deed like that opens up the door for people to understand that this is what we need to be doing for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because it did not cost LaShonda anything but maybe a little gas. Yeah, in her time. But just think of the impact that she may have or potentially made in this young girl's life.
Right.
And the baby.
So now this
And
the baby.
And the baby.
You know what I mean? So now hopefully this young girl will see that as a way of life, something that she needs to go and return to somebody else, or pay it forward.
That's the concept. I was just thinking that. What's it called when you push the helping each other?
Yeah, so hopefully she'll get the, she'll have that in her mind the next time she sees someone who's in need of help. But I seen that story, and again, I just thought that it was a good thing for us to talk about, because although to some people it might seem like just a small thing that she did, it all adds up. You know what I mean?
Yes. Big impact.
So we just want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to LaShonda Carter. You're awesome.
That's great. That's great.
That's awesome.
This has been another great show, another awesome episode of Subject to Opinion, your favorite sports and entertainment podcast. You did. So as always, we're going to leave you with a great song. I'm still waiting on our viewers and listeners to leave comments on our YouTube page, on our Instagram page, which Queen will get to you in a moment. Even send us an email if you have suggestions or comments, a topic that you would like for us to discuss on the show. Today, again, I want to say, get used to this now. I do not own the rights to this music. We just gonna turn up to it, okay? That's what we're gonna do.
All.
Today we're gonna listen to Travis Scott featuring Drake, Sicko Mode.
All right, y'all. So don't forget to like, share, follow, and tell a friend to tell a friend. We are Subject to Opinion on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can send us your emails at s2opodshow@gmail.com, or we are on Instagram at S2O Podcast. Do not forget to reach out. We need want your opinions. We want to know how you feel. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. And tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Nathan's here with all the ice on in the booth. At the gate outside, when they pull up, they give me loose. Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys hopping our coast. This shit way too big. When we pull up, give me the loot. Give me the loot. Was off the Remy, had up at post. Had to hit my old town to duck the news.